Kingscountry.net. You can't make this stuff up, and it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. Did you hear about this? An Amazon delivery driver posted a video to let people know what happened to him on the job, showing that he fell into a 6-foot hole. He quickly figured out that it was a, wait for it, septic tank, and couldn't get out. Here's Charles talking about his situation while he's knee-deep in the stink.
Delivering to this customer's house, and I just fell into a septic tank. I don't know if they were digging it or what, but I walked by it, and the ground came out underneath me. I'm like 6 feet down, and I tried using these roots around me to get out, and it just pulled more dirt on top of me. So I just called dispatch. Hopefully they're going to get the cops or the fire department here, because I definitely don't want to try to climb out on my own again, because, like I said, the walls are kind of caving in on me.
Yeah, Charles posted that he was able to get out and, with the help of the fire department, and still finished the route. Hopefully he took a shower first. Another green lights and blue skies kind of day in southeast Texas and southwestern Louisiana. Gorgeous day. It's going to be about 60 degrees in southeast Texas. A little crispy tonight. 36, they're saying. The weather wizards are telling us. But nothing but hot country coming up around the bend from the likes of Zach Brown Band. Got some AJ, a.k.a. Alan Jackson, Her Royal Highness, Reba McEntire. They're all right here, and you. And we do appreciate you being here. Here comes Dirks now. What was I thinking? On King's Country. King's Country, kingscountry.net. Have you ever seen this guy, Jelly Roll? Man, that guy's got some tats. He's a big old dude with a lot of tattoos. Been seeing him a lot on social media. I don't know if I've heard, I think I've heard a song of his or two. It's not too bad, but Jelly Roll is one of the few artists who have been able to cross over from rap to country music, kind of like Colt Ford, I guess. He's been on my show. Anyway, someone asked how he did it. This is what he said.
I think they felt a real authenticity from it. I think that people knew it wasn't a cash grab. Like, traditionally, it's old rock dudes. The band broke up, and they're like, all right, well, let me come do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think for me, they were like, no, this is a homegrown story, and this is a homegrown kid. And, you know, I think to some degree, they was like, I think he deserves to tell his story.
King's Country, kingscountry.net. Have a few more. That's my friend Frank Foster. Love that guy. Hope he comes back to our neck of the woods pretty soon. Yeah, we saw him at Honky Tonk, Texas a year or so ago and got some fabulous footage. Made a couple of episodes out of it. Good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, here comes our own Mark Nessler. Must be something in the water here because he's from Buna area. Fantastic singer, songwriter. Could have had a career as a singer, but he chose songwriting so he could work in his pajamas and walk to the mailbox and get his royalty check. He's written some huge songs, including Oceanfront Property, George Strait. He's had some King George hits, I think #1 hits. I think that was a #1 hit. Anyway, here comes Mark Nessler now, Used to the Pain on King's Country.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's King of the Road.
At the 2013 George Jones tribute in the Possum's old hometown of Vidor, Texas.
I see lots of sad faces. Oh, lots of bad cases of folks with their back to the wall.
In addition to the great live music performed by such professionals as Kevin Adams and BB and Company, the George Jones tribute at Benoit's Lewis Hall in Vidor included some very emotional speeches from Jones family members.
I think this is really a tribute to Vidor, to show up and show support and tribute our father. You know, coming from a small town and living here, and just to have all these folks, you know, love him and still listen to his music and support us. I'm just overwhelmed. I'm so thankful for everyone here. Thank you so much.
With George Jones's sons, Jeffrey and Brian.
What was it like growing up in George Jones' household?
It was exciting.
It was wild.
Tumultuous sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of good times, a lot of good memories.
Incredible talent he was, and I actually got to speak with him one time. I was working at a local radio station in Beaumont,
And he called me up, and it was like one of the biggest thrills of my life. Hello.
Jim, this is George Jones. How are you?
Hey, George. How are you, man?
Well, we're doing pretty good for an old man.
This is your hometown you're calling. You know that? Well, you know that.
Yeah, boy, we're looking forward to it. We always are. And anytime we come anywhere close to Beaumont and Texas.
This concludes our special broadcast. We now return to Nothing Special.
Spin from the studio of King of the Road Productions in Beaumont, Texas on this beautiful day in Beaumont. It's time for me to shine on the boob tube this weekend 3 times on Fox 4 and the CW. It's a killer episode with Craig Collins back in the Royal Spotlight by popular demand and thanks to Bradley's Collision Center. We'll have the Southeast Texas debut of Lee Bryce's new video as our Pine Tree Lodge music clip of the week from Nashville. Of course, we'll have the Honky Tonk Texas fabulous flashback with the late, great ETC, a.k.a. Earl Thomas Conley. We're going to kick it off with our final segment featuring Sammy Sadler and his story of greed, corruption, and the real murder on Music Row. Here's a little taste test, a little sample. Don't miss it this weekend.
Extra large and turbocharged. It's the King of the Road Show.
Oh, hail to the king.
One man has the power to take you behind the scenes. Jim, King of the Road.
Jim, King of the Road.
Bridge is out and we can't get by. The levee's in for an awful strain. Ain't nothing like a Louisiana rain. My lady lives south of Baton Rouge. The power lines won't let me through. They're laying down where they used to hang. Ain't nothing like a Louisiana rain.
Last week, we began our visit with Sammy Sadler, and he told us about his horrific experience back in 1989 and the true story about the murder on Music Row in Nashville.
Yeah, you know, Jim, I got a record deal right out of high school when I was 18 years old, and then I moved to Nashville and went up there, and by the time I was 21, I had 6 nationally charted records and working on my first album, and we went in and recut the old Aaron Neville song, Tell It Like It Is, and that was my fastest rising single at the time, and it was out on the charts, and unfortunately on March 9, 1989, tragedy struck, and my friend Kevin Hughes, that was a chart manager for Cashbox Magazine back then, which was a rivalry to Billboard, he was a chart manager where the top 100 records move on the charts, and on March 9th, 1989, was on Music Row coming out of my record company's office, and Kevin got shot and murdered, and I got shot and left for dead, and my career came to a halt that night.
We're here in Beaumont, Texas. You're no stranger to Beaumont, Texas, because you were telling us off camera that you used to play at the old Cutters, huh? That's going way back.
Yeah, you know, I mean, when Tracy got his deal, and Dan Wentworth was the owner of Cutters then, and they called us and brought us in to fill in and play some dates down there, and we got the opportunity to meet Dan and become friends with those guys, and we played Cutters a lot. And I was asking you about Von Cook. You know, Von was big here on the radio station here, so we got a lot of memories in Beaumont.
Yeah, I moved here 23 years ago, and Von Cook was on 97. It was KAYD back then. KAYD, and I was here for about 2 years, and all I ever heard was KAYD. You're not going to beat those guys. We were like the redheaded stepchild on Kicker 95.1, but guess what happened? 2 years later, we took them.
Over,
and we never let go. We became the number one. It was Kicker 95.1, but now I have a internet radio station, King's Country, and this TV show.
I understand.
We're going on 16 years, but who's counting?
Well, hey, man, congratulations to you and your success.
Well, thank you, and you too. You're a very inspirational story about your perseverance through all the hard times and ups and downs, and nearly lost it.
Well, I went to Nashville, like I said, just like anybody else, but Nashville kind of made its mark on me, but I'm still here, and we're not going to, we're not going to go away. I mean, we're not going to let a bullet stop us, and we're going to continue to pursue our dream. We started a long time ago, and we're just thankful to still be playing country music. And, if my story or what I've been through can help somebody else, and then the good Lord's made his mark, and hopefully it'll help somebody else get through what they're going through.
You also write songs, Sammy?
I do write a little bit. I mean, on my last album, Heart Shaped Like Texas, that was out in 2009, we wrote a song, and I kind of wrote a song, about the murder on Music Row, and it's called Thank God. And, everybody in life, Jim, no matter whether it's a gunshot victim like I've been, or somebody else that survived something, or you can look back over your life where you might have been close to something happening to you or dying, and you made it through it. Thank God he was there, you wouldn't be here. So I kind of wrote that song, and we wrote that for that.
I can relate to that because just over a year ago, I was nearly killed in a car wreck.
There you go.
A guy ran a red light going 100 miles an hour and plowed into me. I was in the intersection just minding my own business, and he was trying to kill his girlfriend.
Oh, my goodness.
And he died at the scene. She got a broken neck, and I walked away from it.
There you go. God had his hand
I had fractured legs. Both my legs were fractured, and five weeks later, I was 100% again.
Well, there's your story.
Yeah.
So, you're an inspiration to other people as well.
She's crazy for leaving. I told her so. And the boys at the bus stop just saying, man, let her go. She's crazy for leaving. I told her so. But you can't stop a woman when she's out of control. She's crazy for leaving. I told her so. But you can't stop a woman when she's out of control. No, you can't stop a woman when she's out of control.
Read all about Sammy Sadler's true story of corruption, greed, and the real murder on Music Row in his book, A Hit with a Bullet. And stream last week's segments with Sammy at JimKingOfTheRoad.com.
It's strange to hear your voice.
Kings Country, KingsCountry.net. Happy Friday the 13th. And as I mentioned earlier, I do have a couple of black cats here in the house and one outside. So far, so good. That's why I work from home, so we avoid most of the trouble, just the black cats. Anyway, speaking of Friday the 13th, time for a weekly public service show from the outskirts of town. You guessed it, Learning with Vernon, Friday the 13th edition.
Learning with Vernon, get smarter every day. Learning with Vernon, you're sure to get an A. If you've got a question and Google just won't do, you just ask Vernon, you'll have an answer soon.
Caller, you're in the air.
Hey, Vernon, it's Friday the 13th, and I'm kind of scared to do anything because I'm afraid something bad might happen.
Well, now think back. Did anything bad ever happen to you on Friday the 12th?
Well, no.
How about Friday the 14th?
Well, not that I can remember.
Then why go and spoil a perfectly good Friday happy hour being stupid-stitious?
Hey, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks, Vernon.
Celebrate Friday the 13th. Cheers.
Learning with Vernon, you'll have an answer soon.
Kings Country, KingsCountry.net. One of the most unique things about us is we play a little Elvis Presley. He had some country hits. Speaking of Elvis, he lost his only child. Well, of course, he's gone, but Lisa Marie Presley died at the age of 54 yesterday. We just saw Lisa Marie 3 nights ago sitting with her mother, Priscilla Presley, at the Golden Globes. Here's Austin Butler, the star of Elvis, the movie, thanking them when he won the Best Actor in the Motion Picture Drama for his role as Elvis.
I also want to thank the Presley family. Thank you for opening your hearts, your memories, your home to me. Lisa Marie, Priscilla, I love you forever.
Kings Country at kingscountry.net. That does it for the Jim King thing on a Friday the 13th, goodness gracious. Hope you can catch my show this weekend 3 times on Fox 4 and the CW, and I'll be posting the segments at YouTube, my YouTube channel, Jim King of the TV and Radio YouTube channel this weekend. We're going to finish our exclusive with Sammy Sadler and his story about corruption, greed, and the real murder on Music Row in Nashville back in 1989. Oh, and by the way, they liked my work so much that they're probably going to take me to Nashville, and I'm going to produce a documentary about him. Start working on that on the side. More information will be coming your way. We're also going to cruise over to Bradley's Collision Center in this episode number 857, I should say, this weekend. We're going to cruise over there and talk to a couple of their fine customers, talking about Mike White and David Crawford. We're going to have the Southeast Texas debut of Lee Bryce's new video. It's a tearjerker, and that's our Pine Tree Lodge music clip of the week from Nashville. We always have the Honky Tonk Texas fabulous flashback, and this time it's going to be ETC, Earl Thomas Conley, the late great one. Visited with him back in 2009 at Honky Tonk, Texas. We're going to conclude it with, sponsored by Bradley's Collision Center in the Royal Spotlight, Craig Collins. Don't miss it this weekend. You have a good weekend. Keep between the ditches. Have a good one. I'll talk to you Monday, 10-ish, right here on King's Country. Later, Gators. Happy New Year from the Queen of Southeast Texas Realtors, Suzanne Simmons of RE/MAX One. Never settle for less in 2023 when it comes to your real estate needs. Call Suzanne today at 409-880-5307.